Hi guys, and thanks to all of you who have checked out my video guide of how I fly my GT400. Most of the flying footage was shot in 4K, so I decided to do a 4K version of the video, just like the GT500 video. Hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, today I'm going to take you for a short circuit in the GT400. For those of you who follow the channel, you've probably already watched the similar video on the GT500. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. I've had some great feedback on the GT500 video, so I thought I'd do the same thing with the 400. I'll be going through all the pre-flight procedures and show you the big difference between the flight characteristics of the GT400 and the GT500. This is not a standard version of the GT400, as you can see. My first aircraft when I started flying ultralights about 20 years ago was a very early model GT400. And when I became the Quicksilver dealer for Australia back all those years ago, I moved on to the GT500. In later years, the exchange rate had improved quite a lot, so I decided to get myself a GT400 to add to the squadron. But with the experience of the early model GT400 and me now flying a GT500, I decided to up-spec the GT400 with a lot of the GT500 bits. I added the GT500 windscreen instead of the very basic one that was on the old one. I also up-spec'd the instrument panel to be very similar to the GT500 and added a floor flap handle instead of being an overhead one, Tundra tyres and Black Max brakes, plus the E-box for the 503, oil injection and a 3-blade bolly prop. Clear prop, starting. I will be doing a separate video to cover all these extra bits in depth, but that will be for a later video. But today we'll be covering the flight characteristics of the mighty GT400. Give the 503 a bit of time to come up to operating temperature. And we'll warm the engine up on the long run down to the end of the strip. This is a lot breezier aircraft than the GT500, but it's just a lot of fun. We went through the usual pre-flight procedures, similar to the GT500 video, but the main things to check with the 400 was the oil level, the tyre pressures, and of course the fuel level. Okay, we give the engine a good run up. All good. The Rotax 503 goes to maximum revs of 6,500, which will be our takeoff revs. Put the flaps on one stop, 10 degrees, similar to the 500. Check that the control surfaces are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and give an outbound call. Ready to go. You will notice the 400 gets off the ground a lot quicker than the GT500. With the 3-bladed Bolly prop, the GT400 climbs out at easily 1,000 feet a minute. At around 300 feet, take the flaps back to zero. When you get to cruising altitude, back it off to 5,500 revs. There's no trim lever on the 400, it's just a manual trim setup on the tail. The GT400 is a very nimble aircraft, and it is stressed to +6 and -4 Gs, which means it's a very strong aircraft, but I'm not going to try and put it to its limits. An interesting fact about the main wing of the GT400 is that it's exactly the same as the wing for the GT500, remembering of course that the 500 is an aberration of the 400. The only difference is the 500 has got a few extra ribs and larger ailerons and flaps. I added the extra ribs for the 400 upgrade, which gives you a few extra knots. You can see the airport on the right hand side. So we start dropping the revs, getting ready to land. So the same as the 500, you need to find that balance between your angle of attack and your throttle. Being a low inertia aircraft, you need to keep an eye on the airspeed indicator to make sure you keep above your stall speed. Too many GA pilots forget this very important point and try and land an ultralight flat like a Cessna and ultimately come to grief. On descent, when you get to about 300 feet, put the flaps on one stop, 10 degrees. And we're down. I hope you enjoyed your circuit with the 400, and I will be doing an in-depth video on the GT400 to show you all the bits that I've added to make it a really nice aircraft. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button. See you in the next video.